okay?
I feel.
Felt good. Okay, let's, okay? Okay? Wow, that
I've been watching The Sopranos lately. I've never done like a full run through of the full show. When I was in high school, grade 10, I was like, what, 16? The old man, whenever I come down, he'd drive me to school in the morning, and I'd always come down, and it was on. I don't know why. We just had basic cable. I don't know how HBO worked back then. This is like 2009. But anyway, Sopranos was on at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and some of the days that I wouldn't go to school, I'd just sit there and watch the episode with him, and we'd peace out. And I always remember he'd just be kind of sitting there with his legs crossed and like his long johns on, just watching The Sopranos. So, one thing that, I mean, I'm sure there's been quite a bit written on that show, so I'm not going to get too deep into the philosophy of it, but it, like many things, it got me thinking, and very early on it's established that Tony Soprano's not a happy guy. There's parallels to that, to of course everyone, and maybe that's why those characters resonate with us. On the surface, he's got everything. He's got the wife, he's got the kids, big home, you know, money, essentially the freedom as he is a criminal. He's a mob boss, he can do whatever he wants. He gets any woman he wants, but he's established early on. He's having panic attacks, he's not happy, he's not satisfied, it's not enough. And then of course as the show, you know, goes through its episodes and seasons, as he gets more and grows in power, it just seems like he's never satisfied. And those types of things make me think of my father. You know, it never seemed like it was enough, and it makes me think of it in my own life as well. It's weird. It's like, I would say at this point, I have almost everything that I've ever dreamed of, that I've ever imagined. It's so strange. If I go back 10 years ago, if I could go back and talk to that version of me and say, you're going to have these things in 10 years, I just shake my head. You know, it's weird. And I'll have these deep moments of almost being ungrateful. I can't figure out why I'm so depressed at times and upset. And it just doesn't seem to matter how much I get, it's never enough. They say to practice gratitude, you sit down and appreciate what you have, but I feel like maybe there's something in this longing and this need for more. I don't know how it is for women, but for men, people in general, we'll just say for men, it seems like you just always want more. And it doesn't matter how much you get, so you practice gratitude, you sit down and you look at the things that you have, and you look at what you got, and you be thankful for those things, and I am grateful for what I have. I was sitting down with my fiance the other night, and I just looked at her and I said, you know, I'm not doing too bad. 7 years ago, Well, I was pretty much homeless. Wasn't talking with my dad, wasn't talking with my mom. You know, basically had nothing but a shitty van to my name. I had nothing. Now, family, children, beautiful home, brand new truck. I drove it off the lot. That was always a dream of mine. It was a bucket list with my dad. You know, when he had money, I was talking about driving the vehicle off the lot. It always seemed like, and these aren't big things. There's a lot of people have these things, but to me, it just, you know, we were so poor at times. It was insane to think about. Man, can you imagine just going to buy a vehicle and you drive it off the lot and it's brand new? I have all these things, so I want to be grateful for that. But then I think of my dad, and I watch The Sopranos, and I'm seeing Tony Soprano, and it's weird. You just have these poignant moments of just looking out, and it doesn't matter at times. It's wrong to say that. Nobody wants to admit that, but it really does feel like that. It seems like that for a lot of people, for a lot of characters. It doesn't matter how much you have. Some of the happiest people on the planet. It's not about money. Money helps, for sure. Money can free you of the stress of a job or fixing a vehicle. It can give you that freedom. But if you're a depressed person and you have no friends and no family, millions of dollars isn't going to change that. It'll help, but I remember my dad once, maybe 2004. I call that the golden era. He was doing really good. Limbic, light infantry magnetic blast cushion was taken off. That was on Discovery Channel. Fire Pace was taken off. He was making a lot of money off of that. Angel Light and God Light. He had a private investor in Mexico. Sounds like one of those fake stories, but he actually did. He was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Bear in mind, this is a guy with my father. He's not working. He's never worked a day in his life like that. These are human beings picking up a phone and calling him, saying, "Troy, I saw what you're doing on Discovery Channel. Here's $300,000 over the course of a year or two." But in my opinion, that's quite a bit of money for someone that didn't have any degrees and wasn't really doing anything. You know, just being an entrepreneur. I remember him telling me once, sitting on the sidewalk burning $100 bills. Couldn't figure out why he was so depressed. They probably weren't $100 bills, they're probably 20s. But still, where do you got to be burning money, right? It was just never enough for him. It didn't matter, especially near the end of his life. You know, we got another private investor. You know, the most we ever cashed at once. This would be small time for some people, but we cashed. It was either $49,000 or like $51,000, and we did it in cash. My father was so impatient, rather than waiting for the check to cash, took it to Western Union or something, and essentially you pay them a bit of money so it doesn't get held, so you walk out that day with it. $50,000 Canadian in like a lunch bag, like one of those brown paper bags, walking downtown with it. I think he spent it in a week. Who knows where it went? It didn't matter. Didn't matter the innovations were taken off. Didn't matter the family. Didn't matter the vehicle. It was irrelevant. It's so strange. It's almost like we're never meant to be happy. You know, because you'll hear on social media, or pick a successful person, maybe someone in the NHL or an MMA champion in the UFC, Olympic gold medalist. It's a desire to never be satisfied. You can never rest on your laurels. You can never be happy with it, no matter how much you achieve, because you need to achieve more. There's an ego with it, but let's say you win a gold medal. The Olympics just were on. So you win a gold medal, and now you're the best. You're the absolute best in whatever it is, let's say running. You're the fastest man on the planet Earth. What do? Because it's tough. Because a lot of people will say, well, if you just sit back and sit on that, and go, I'm a gold medal. I'm a gold medalist. That's it. It's almost like people aren't happy. It's like, oh, you're sitting back on that, you know? Be wearing the pat on the back. It doesn't matter. Work harder. Do more. But if you're not satisfied with being the best, and keep using this, as the analogy there, You win the gold medal, and said, well, you gotta go do it again. You need more. We'll use Michael Phelps. He won like what, 20? At what point does that stop mattering? Like, was he satisfied? And I don't know anything about him. Maybe he was, but he wasn't. If he wanted more, he wasn't satisfied with what he got. He sat back because if he was satisfied, he would have stopped. He said, "I want more." Imagine winning a gold medal. Imagine being the best, and you want more, and then you do it 20 times. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but it's like you can never be satisfied. And does that mean you're never happy? I think it does for a lot of people. Maybe not in this instance, in a Phelps instance, but in a lot. It just seems like you can never stop. It's never enough. You just go and go and go. And some people are really good at making money. That's what they do. They just make money, but they don't do anything with it. They don't leave anything behind. They don't build anything. Maybe they have a company. Billions of dollars. Some billionaires don't even drive nice vehicles or wear nice clothes. They just have a bank account. It's like a dragon hoarding gold and wealth. But to what end? I don't even think they know. Like if you're Jeff Bezos, for example, like think about that. Bring it back to like a Tony Soprano, who was never a billionaire, but it was never enough for him. And then you look at a real life person like a Bezos. What even gets you out of bed at that point when you have everything, you've done it all, but you can't sit back. You're too good at making money. You just got to go make more. Is he happy? He looks happy. He's in shape. He's got models. He's got the biggest yacht. But is he satisfied? Johnny Cash has a song about that. About having a satisfied mind. And how so few people have it, no matter what they're achieving. It's like if you have nothing, you can't be satisfied. Like me, for example, right now. I have lots, but I'm not satisfied. I need more. So I'm not completely happy. I'm not depressed, but I'm not happy. I want more. Like I wrote my first novel. I think I was 17. It wasn't a good book. I was 17, but it was a book. It had a beginning, a middle, and end. It was quite long. It was about 140,000 words. I wrote that on an iPod Touch. I didn't have a pen and paper. I didn't have a laptop. I had an iPod Touch, or an iPod Touch. I listen to music, and that's what I do. 140,000 words. Boom. I think I was 18 by the time I finished that book. Some people can't even finish a book. That's all they want to do. They can't do it. So awesome. It's not enough. You need to perfect the book. You make a better book. And now I've got a couple okay ones, but now it's to get published. And it's just a cycle. It doesn't matter what it is. You can never be satisfied. And when you start achieving, you have to keep achieving and do more. I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot. We have these characters. Just even in the intro. Like I'm really obsessed with it lately. I really like that intro to The Sopranos. Gandolfini's a tremendous actor. But I just feel like there's a couple shots of him. He's just smoking a cigar, and you can see the city in the back. Maybe I'm hyping it up, but for me, you just kind of get into his head a bit and you think about it. You just doing where he's going, what he wants. When's enough enough? Think about my own father. Could he have ever stopped? And then self-destruction also plays into that as well. A lot of people are self-destructive. They don't even know it. They get close to something or they're achieving and they have to tear it down. Something about putting out that fire helps them. And I don't know, when it's enough. What are we even doing right now? One person watching this. Myself when I watch it back, and probably you. 10 years from now, it could be 5 million people watching this. The background will change. The $5 smokes will become $50 smokes. The beers will get more expensive. The whiskeys will turn into scotch with some Lagavulins. Maybe a Glenmorangie, $300 bottle. The watches will get better. I won't grow hair. It doesn't matter. philosophies on it, there's songs on it, about being content with what you have, but I don't believe in that. I do think that you should want to achieve more, but maybe you can lose yourself in that quest of wanting more. That's not what it's about. It's about the journey, it's not about the destination. So it's like, if you can't be satisfied with this, with the stogie, with the beer, with the citizen watch, with the whatever you're doing, you know, healthy, family's healthy, we have a vehicle, it runs great, I love it, the job's okay, but you know, when do you just go, this is good, like I'm happy now? Or is there a point that you can hit that and recognize that you have everything you would ever need, be happy and go, this is great, I'm still going to attempt to achieve more, but then again, going back to it, then that means that you're not content, you're not satisfied, you have to keep going. You can't stop. Maybe some people do, maybe some actors do, some people retire and that's it, they're done. But very few people do that. Very few people do it. Very few people can retire on top. It makes me think of like a George St. Pierre. Takes all that time off after the Hendricks fight, comes back, fights Michael Bisping, gets the finish, gets the second belt, and then he retires. And it seems like he's doing great. You've achieved everything that you can possibly achieve. You just go live your life now. And that part's done and you move on. I think a lot of people have trouble moving on. I mean, if we're going to get really deep with it. We keep talking about purpose lately. Purpose and death and life and legacy and what you're leaving behind. We'll find the answer to it eventually. I'm in it right now. I'm in it. There's just questions. There's no answers. You know, I sit back and I go, what would have... You could do it a different way in another timeline if you believe in a multiverse. There's a version of my father who's healthy and happy. And he's got the money and he's got the innovations. Is that enough? Does he sit back behind a cigarette and go, this is good? This is good. I don't think so. I don't. I think some people are cursed to mediocrity. Some people are failures. Some people strive for something but never achieve it. Some people achieve it too quick. Some people achieve everything, but I feel like the one thing that everyone shares is it's just never enough.